Drunken man on unicycle passes out on Scottish street. This may sound like the beginning of a corny joke, a meanwhile in Glasgow TikTok, or local newspaper article. However, if said acrobat had passed out on Ebenezer Place in Wick, he and the pedal-driven device would extend further in length than the street itself, which at a minuscule 6 feet 9 inches is a far cry from the epic span of the Silk Road. Over 4,000 miles, the spice routes of old connected the Far East to Europe, ensuring the wealthy could sip the finest infusion of tea leaves, an activity whose diuretic effect would often result in the use of finest porcelain, also transported along the Silk Road. As the wheels of caravans rolled and trades were plied along the Eurasian trade routes through time, millions died from the Black Death and savage conquests alike. Yet the Silk Road is not the only thoroughfare to bear witness to a monumental event in human history. Upon the A75, Kinmount Strait, back in ye olden times of 1962, a transit van, or possibly a massive hen, depending on the account, flew across the road, making it the world's most haunted road. It's surprising how little it takes to make something the most haunted these days. We will never know what possessed that van, hen, although we can assume it was not the supernatural type of spirit, but a spirit of another kind that inspired the van driver, hen, witness of this event. Pubs have always been meeting places where people gather to share stories after a long, hard day at work. Many embellish an anecdote about their day, swapping out the more mundane aspects for juicy gossip. These intersections of tall tale and modern mythology mirror the ancient storytellers who exchanged their yarns of both story and silk on the Silk Road. The Silk Road has gained notoriety for a very different reason. The stuff of urban legend and hushed whispers on the darkest corners of YouTube. It is now synonymous with an infamous site on the dark web. A place where the trading of spices was swapped for dealing drugs and the assassin's wares. Nostalgia that leads us to faraway exotic countries has now been replaced by intrigue that drags us down to the bottomless abyss, the internet's iceberg of hidden depths and dangerous corners. Over time, context changes, transforming the ways of old into very different pursuits and outcomes, contorting our knowledge into new forms and ideologies. Just like that extraordinary incident on the A75, we have a habit of making something bigger than it is, of distorting reality and even disconnecting from reality completely, where the real world and alt facts coexist in devastating polarity. The art of exaggeration, metaphor and hyperbole have existed throughout human history in the oral traditions we use to share our ancestry, from person to person, moment to moment, all the way into the custodianship of the printing press or data file. But why do we embellish our stories, our lives and our world? We tell innocuous tales because we want to share a little of ourselves, to connect, to be heard, to be seen. So what if we go slightly astray from the path? A pinch of seasoning to spice up a light-hearted anecdote is not harmful, unless allergic. However, problems arise when the storyteller corrupts both message and meaning, when they twist situations and circumstances to manipulate. They shoehorn benefits and terrors into their argument to evoke emotions from a tale that is completely untrue. They falsify statistics or events to fit their narrative, subtly baiting you into clicking on untrustworthy links, selling, radicalising, coercing with every phrase. The challenge is when we fracture ourselves and the stories we tell from the lived reality of our audience. We tell stories that are worthless. They mean nothing. They may cause a knee to jerk or finger to press, but they do not offer value. They fail to traverse thousands of miles and centuries of time. They never reach the depths of experience we encounter each day. Stories are at their most powerful when they reveal to us the mysteries of life, real life, not some made-up scenario to leverage instant gratification. In the end, it is important to communicate and to hear the fundamental truths of our lives, to share what is deeply meaningful for you, and to know what is meaningful to your audience, whether that be in your local pub or to thousands on social media. But one thing remains: the stories we share change us. So make yours fun. Make them rich in scale and scope. Make them last. And above all, make them the most haunting, one-wheeled Scotsman outstretched further than the minuscule distance of the street you call a lifetime.